Hi, Dr. Seffrin. This is my presentation on a comparative analysis of The Unforgivable, which was an assigned movie to watch, and Pain Hustlers, one of the films that I picked, through the conflict and feminist theories of crime. Now, I wanted to preface this, if you didn't see my last few emails, I think I did try to email you. I do have a bit of an issue with uploading my voice recordings to my presentation because I do use Google Slides and I don't have Microsoft Suite, which I think Marywood should include in the tuition, but that's my own personal philosophy. So I may have a little bit of an issue with uploading these. I know for the last PowerPoint I did with Zodiac and Mindhunter, I put it all onto a Google folder, and I just have it open to access, and whoever clicks the link can see all the voice recordings. So hopefully that also does work and that does count, because for whatever reason Google Slides, it does have the option that I can add it in, but I'm using my Mac's voice memo setting and uploading it through the grapevine. I upload it to Google and then so on and so forth. It's a pain in the butt, but I wanted to get that out of the way just in case you didn't see any of my messages. Hopefully you see this, because, yeah. Alright, and now we're on PowerPoint slide 2. Just in case you didn't tell by the title of the voice memo. Okay, synopsis of the both of them, because I thought it was pretty much easy to just do one slide and have both of them, save you some time, whatever. Ruth, played by Sandra Bullock, sets out to rebuild her life, including reconnecting with Katie. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I want to say Franciosi? I don't know. Her younger sister in Unforgivable, and Ruth struggles and tries to fix and make amends with people from her past, but she faces some obstacles from some nasty people. I couldn't pick a better adjective than saying nasty people, because they truly were a little bit nasty. And then that this film focuses mostly on how rehabilitated convicts' hardships and struggles to reconnect with society, which that is very true. I do know of a person in my personal life, not saying that they committed a heinous crime, but they were incarcerated for a minute or two. But then again, he is a man, and to my knowledge, I don't know of any of my friends that have been incarcerated that are female, but I know he still struggles. This was even when we were, I think, 13. So it's a while ago, but it still is worth noting. And then in Pain Hustlers, which was a pretty interesting movie, Liza, played by Emily Blunt, meets Pete, played by Chris Evans, when she's at her low point in her life, when her mother loses her job and is now the main provider for her household. And they meet at a strip club that Liza works at. So that's fun. Pete helps her get a job with marketing medication towards cancer patients that gets them extremely addicted rather than helping them. So that's not cool. And the focus is mostly on harming people for their money, because I do believe in the movie, if I'm remembering correctly, they do realize that they're harming people and getting them addicted. And again, they're trying to market it to be like, oh, this is really, really well for you guys. You can have it. And there won't be any, repercussions. But, still very, that's all I could say. Moving on to slide 3. The conflict and feminist theory in The Unforgivable. I just kind of mashed them all up and I didn't say which is which, but I can infer that you probably know what you're doing. and you probably understand what I'm trying to get at. I just like throwing things at a wall and just because they can all on in my opinion, they can all mix together. Um so we're gonna move to the first bullet point. The film focuses on how harsh they treat female convicts. And I believe that's pretty universal. But the movie gives us a better visualization of what it is. So, parole, it's a means of rehabilitation in quotes because it kind of is, kind of isn't, in my opinion, but while incorporating the convict back into normal life while having that little chain of, hey, you're still convicted, by the way. She struggles to get herself places because she doesn't own a car. Rather, she has to take buses, which can have her not meet her parole officer on time. And they're very strict about that. And people can even get their parole revoked because of it. It can cause further problems. Another main point in the movie is the reputation restoral. And again, she attempts to gain her life back. However, she faces societal issues such as not to trust a criminal, which is what all parents teach. Specifically, my parents. Again, I've been friends with people that have been convicts at some point in their life. And not to trust a criminal. That is a very valid statement because half of the friends that I had that were convicts were very, very shady people. Even though we come to find out she's taking the blame for her sister. Again, some people will disclose that, but some people just don't do that. It's very weird. And low socioeconomic status. Again, that's another major issue that people have with convicts because the generalization is if you're a convict, you're probably poor and you probably robbed somebody and that's how you got in jail. That happens a lot. It's either that or if you see in most true crime cases or like, you know, the most famous serial killers, for example, they have poor IQ. It's one or the other usually, but that's, again, just a very big stereotype. She cannot help herself to seek further help or even talk to about how she's struggling. And one of the main focuses in my paper is that it would kind of make sense that maybe the law provides somewhat of a therapist because sometimes if it's like a lesser crime, you do get traumatized no matter what. You've probably seen somebody beat themselves up. Then again, that's a huge stereotype. But definitely people should seek therapy after going through such a traumatic thing, being caged up, even though they probably deserved it. Some people don't. Some people are wrongly imprisoned. But again, that's a topic for another time. Not only that, but she is poor, and it will cause people to stay away from her because nobody wants to be friends with a poor person, as some people preach to their kids. Again, another thing that people preach. Generally, like, specifically me going to a Catholic high school, there were some parents that would go to my classmates and analyze their family's wealth and determine their well-being based on their wealth, even though they all go to the same Catholic high school and know each other. There have been some people as parents that would just analyze if they didn't make so much, they could not be friends with them because it was like another way of marketing their kids. But then again, I'm not pushing this as the movie. It's just from my personal life, and I'm just trying to connect it to the movie and try to get a deeper understanding of the movie. Okay, and now to the fourth slide, conflict and feminist theory of pain hustlers. Yet again, I merged them all together, so you can probably assume what's right and what's wrong in the thing. Again, it's just going based off my paper. Okay. And then the low economic status. I just wanted to repeat that again because that's another just prominent theme that they both share. Again, like the Unforgivable, she has worked very hard to get where she's at, even though she has a decent paying job as a stripper before she meets Pete. However, the lack of money made it to where she was. Okay, I repeated she was twice. I'll fix that. Blinded by the possibilities of more money with Pete's offer to market the pills, which we find out is an ethical struggle because they get addicted, yada yada. We'll get to there when we get to there. But we're going to talk about Pete and Liza real quick. The power imbalance. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. It's a supervisor getting with an employee, which is a big no-no usually. Usually in corporate jobs, like, I don't want to say my job is a corporate job, but my corporate at the movie theater, I do work at a movie theater, they have specific rules that a manager cannot get with an employee. And let's say you have a pre-existing relationship as you guys are both employees. Either if they want to be brought up to a manager, they both have to be brought up, or the one significant other that does not want to be brought up has to resign if they want to continue the relationship. Because again, it could lead to unfair circumstances with other employees being put in. And that's no different than pain hustlers. That's a personal vendetta that I have. It's wrong. It's wrong. And you can compare it to way more harsher things, but I don't think you need to compare it to harsher things to get your point across. I think this is pretty sufficient. Saying, hey, this isn't cool. And now we go to ethical struggles. And again, going back to the point that I was talking about, the low socioeconomic thing, yada yada, it plays with the previous point as well with the power imbalance. The main focus of this is because of her issue knowing that she is selling drugs, which she finds out. They don't tell her. She finds out. That the drugs are not made for the audience, the cancer patients, that she is marketing, and it is also getting people addicted to these crazy drugs, which is not chill. It's it's bad. It's bad. And there's just a whole ton of issues ethically. If I was in the same circumstance, I'd probably quit, even though I'd be making really crazy money. I don't think it's worth it to jeopardize other people. Like, you can basically kill a person with these drugs that they're on. You can kill a person if it gets into the wrong people's hands. And again, could be like laced or something. There's a whole ton of other plethora of issues that I have further with this, but for now, we're just going to say, I don't think it's right. There's a lot of moral dilemmas with it. And then motherly duties. She's striving to care for her daughter to the best of her ability, even if she's doing something not ethical by most people's standards, including me. I don't think it's ethical, but what do I know? They don't tell me anything, nothing. It's a whole ton of hullabaloo, basically. And yeah, I don't agree with some of these standards that people are doing, because you're stooping so low, in fairness, to get money, but at what cost do you say, hey, I don't think this is right? Specifically for me, the argument that I can use for this is, would you rather kill one person or the 5 people? That whole dilemma. It's a moral dilemma. You just don't know. And again, comparing it to that, there's a lot of issues surrounding it, and you have to be very careful about your conscience about that. And again, you should probably seek therapy, because that can be mentally tolling. But yeah, it's a lot of crazy things.